Welcome back, everyone. This is Thomas Triple T Tie with another new bullish crypto analysis. Before we start, remember this is for edutainment only and not to be considered as financial advice. Additionally, I would appreciate it if you could help spread my easy to understand analysis to help others, especially newbies, make more informed decisions with their crypto investment or other investments. So let's dig in. We have a pretty short content today around macro news that could impact the market. So let's dig in. According to Fortune, tech companies are slow in hiring or announcing layoffs. Is this the beginning of a cooler job market? Well, let's take a look. If companies, let's here. During when the market was when we were going through COVID in 2020 and 2021, a lot of the stay-at-home companies, companies that benefit from people staying at home and not going out as much, like Netflix and all that stuff. So if they benefited, and now that COVID restrictions have been lifted, and it's people are more free to move about, obviously they're going to be impacted. And so if they're going to be impacted, their growth is not going to be there, and so they're going to have to lay people off. It's part of, and you look at the market and how much they've tanked, especially with big tech companies. It's not a surprise. Over here, Coinbase earnings review a large loss. The stock is sinking. That's no surprise. The crypto market is it's looking really bad right now, and Coinbase, their NFT marketplace, didn't do it. I mean, it's what they had 75,000 people were active on it. So, it's that didn't go well for them. They dropped 14% after hours, and that's after they. After dropping 12.6% ahead of the earnings report. So people were anticipating bearish reporting from Coinbase. So not a surprise. According to CNBC, Finland is just days away from applying for NATO membership. And Finland is not alone. Sweden is also on deck to apply also. So they probably will get expedited membership, but before they get approved, the 30 members already in NATO will have to approve the applications. Even though it's going to be expedited, it's going to take some months. Unlike Ukraine's application to join the EU, that could take. They said it could take up to like a decade. So it's excuse me. I don't know why this is not loading, but let me try to refresh it. Russia's needs to, according to CNN, Russia needs to sell oil. It's running out of options. So with the sanctions and the EU countries in the EU weaning off of Russian oil, even though they're still dependent on the gas, Russia needs to explore ways to sell their oil, either to China or other countries. And because right now they're so reliant on the revenue from oil and gas to fund their illegal, evil invasion of Ukraine. I hope the world wean off of Russia everything about everything, natural gas, energy. Those are the two biggest things. But in the future, wean off the commodities there as well. Send them back to the dark ages. More stories came out, and this is according to Newsweek. Putin's military officer refusing to obey orders in Ukraine, and this is not the first time this has come out. So it seems like more Russian soldiers are just refusing to comply, and this is during their time in on the ground. Previous reports have mentioned morale with the Russian soldiers have been horrible. It seems like nothing's going right with that invasion, from logistics to planning to tactical maneuvers. They're just the only thing that they have done is just bomb the heck out of places. Otherwise, they have failed miserably over there, and that's a good thing. However, that could cause some frustrations for them, and they could resort to other methods that may escalate the war even more. Speaking of which, here it is. This is from Politico. Russia's, according to a top intel official from the U.S., they warned that Putin's invasion could become more unpredictable and potentially escalatory. And basically, if they are not able to win this war the way it's been trending, more than likely they're going to escalate it with, potentially using more tactical nuclear bombs, more chemical warfares. So they can get desperate. So that is something to watch out for. When they get desperate, that's going to create volatilities in the region and the world. And obviously that's going to impact the market as well. But more importantly, the lives of people in Ukraine and nearby countries. This paragraph summarized it pretty well. The uncertain nature of the battle, which is developing into a war of attrition, combined with the reality that Putin faces a mismatch between his ambitions and Russia's current conventional military capabilities, likely means the next few months could see us moving along a more unpredictable and potentially escalatory trajectory, Haynes testified. At the very least, we believe the economy will usher in a period of more ad hoc decision making in Russia, meaning it's more like it's not planned out. They're just going to make decisions as they go along, making things up along the way. Haynes added that Putin could seek more drastic means on the home front and abroad to achieve his objectives, including imposing martial law, shifting industrial production to sustain the war effort, and potentially escalatory military actions. The Russian people need to have a civil war and overthrow this guy. That's what they need. According to Newsweek, China now preparing to invade Taiwan. Here's an opinion article. This is based on something I reported probably a week or two ago, how China called representatives from dozens of banks around the world, including HSBC and some of the world's biggest banks, to talk about what would happen if similar sanctions was applied to China as they were applied to Russia. And I mentioned also in that conversation that more than likely this could be about Taiwan and also the South China Sea islands and stuff. But yeah, if China decides to, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. The risk is too high. The world is too fragile right now. And if China was to do this, it could cause so many problems because China is so reliant on the U.S. and the Western markets that it could disrupt the world economy in so many ways. I somewhat agree with this opinion. I just don't fully agree with it. I think they're thinking it, and it's a remote possibility. It's just so many risks in it. Parents hunting for baby formulas. A shortage spans the U.S. So as you know, logistics, we've had a nightmare with logistics, and especially with Shanghai and different major cities in China going through the COVID lockdown periods. Shanghai, especially Shanghai. So it's caused some issues with the import and exports, and also right now, I mean, this is just one of the things that are in short supply. So with the baby formulas, that's tough, because that's gonna put not only will that increase prices and drive inflation further, but that's gonna hurt families and with babies as well. So yeah, keep an eye on the supply chain and the supplies at grocery stores. According to CNBC, inflation outlook for consumers fall from record high, Fed surveys show. And this is just based on Fed surveys, not actual CPI, which I believe is being reported tomorrow. The inflation expectations for the next year fell to a median of 6.3 in April, a 0.3% point decrease from the record high in the previous months. So again, this is inflation expectations, okay? That is somewhat good news, but we want to verify the data. And they're saying that household spending is projected to rise a record 8% over the next year, according to New York Fed surveys for consumers. And that's due to inflation also. So gas prices, energy, all that stuff. Crazy times. IMF recommends the Bahamas to accelerate its education on campaign on CBDC, central bank digital currency. And this is kind of weird, because the IMF typically don't support digital currency, and in the past, etc. So this is curious. And by the way, CBDCs is not the same as crypto. Okay, CBDC is, they can track you, they can have control over your wallets if they're CBDC based. That's why you see a lot of governments love CBDC, because they can control it, and they know how money flows in and out of it. So don't mistake CBDC for it. So I'm still curious why they're moving towards this direction. Yeah. So just stay tuned. More to come, because like IMF have been warning many countries against adoption of digital currency, but many of those did not include CBDC. So I think they're leaning towards more support on CBDC for a couple of reasons. One is that it can be controlled; they can spy on you, and the other one is that if they are against digital currency but they support CBDC, they can redirect their attention towards CBDC instead of to crypto. That's what I think. According to Fortune, death of the NFT. CryptoPunk, bought for $1 million, sells for $139,000 just 6 months later. I think many of you probably know how I feel about NFTs and the metaverse. I think there are some excellent use cases for them, but selling a JPEG of a rock or some digital, blocked art for millions of dollars, no bueno. I don't think that's sustainable, because it's not. Could be easily duplicated. I mean, I've seen street artists do much better job for art than some of these JPEGs that are being sold for millions of dollars. So yeah, be careful. If you want to sell it, go for it. I think it's fantastic, but don't be investing in it because this could happen to you. According to Fortune, tech companies, this is the beginning. So pretty much kind of a slow day in the news today. Luna is just tanking the crypto market. But keep an eye out on these macro factors and see where they're going, because almost all of them, if not all of them, impact our investments and what goes on in crypto and equities. I appreciate your time. I will see you in the next video later today on Bitcoin, and today is Wednesday, so that will be AVAX weekly analysis. No, today's Tuesday. It'll be Terra Luna's analysis. So looking forward to that one. All right. Remember, smash the like, ring my bell, hit subscribe, and leave comments if you haven't done so. I appreciate your time. See ya. Peace.